Hello, my name is KOLKMAN. I'm the Chief Internet Technology Officer at the Internet Society. Today, I'd like to talk about trust. Trust is going to be one of the topics at Intercommunity today, and I would like to provide a little bit of a few background thoughts so that you can go off and discuss trust among yourselves. Trust is a complex thing. It is a perception of your environment. And when we say we want to create trust in the internet, we actually want to foster confidence in the internet so that people have a fairly rational reason to trust the internet. But when we talk about trust in the internet, that's a very complex set of problems that we're looking at. So what we're trying to do is to provide a framework in which we can talk about several pieces that, at least from the Internet Society's perspective, we're interested in. Those four pieces are trusted networks, technologies for trust, user trust, and a trusted ecosystem. Let's go over them. They sort of map to the internet architecture, the layered internet architecture. Trusted networks are about how the communication between endpoints get established. The internet is a network of networks where the endpoints, the end networks, do not necessarily collaborate with each other. However, they have a bunch of expectations and they trust the traffic to flow from A to B. We have to make sure that that capability of the internet, of network operators that have no bilateral relation, flowing traffic between them and thereby establishing an end-to-end experience, remains to exist. And the things that we need to do for that is look at things like routing security and DNS security. It's typically the realm of network operators when we talk about trusted networks. Now, the networks themselves don't provide confidentiality. If somebody looks at the packets that pass by on the internet, they can read into them. That's fairly trivial. So there's a sort of a service layer that we need in order to establish confidentiality and integrity and authenticity. A layer that provides encryption and the ability for strangers that have never met each other before to have some sort of identification. Make sure that you're talking to the party that you intend to talk to. I'm thinking about infrastructures like the PKI, the public key infrastructure. It's the infrastructure that makes sure that there's this little blue padlock in your web browser. But I'm also thinking about encryption technologies and protocols like TLS, the thing that encrypts your web traffic when you talk to your bank. We call that sort of middleware, that functionality that applications rely on. We call that the technologies for trust. That's another aspect of which we are interested in. Third is user trust, and user trust is a very, very broad area, but think about it of the endpoints of the network, where the applications take place. The applications run on machines. We need to trust the machines. The applications themselves need to be trusted. We have to make sure that we're not dealing with malware, for instance. We want to make sure that the people who operate the applications don't do things that we don't like. For instance, businesses that collect a lot of data about us need to deal with that data in a, if not legal sense, also in an ethical sense. They have to make sure that the data that they collect is not leaked. User trust. And finally, trusted ecosystem. All of the internet operates, well, not in a vacuum. It operates in a wide collective of interests. And we have to make sure that the decisions made in that wide collective of interests are made in transparent ways and according to a set of principles whereby all the stakeholders are involved and the technical capabilities of the internet are not harmed. In general, we take an approach towards all the trust and security issues in these different layers through an approach that we call collaborative security. The internet is built on collaboration, and it is important that when we work with security, we don't break the internet as a whole. And that if we think about security, that we take the internet as a whole into account. Fostering confidence is an important part of that collaborative security approach. We have to take into account that whenever we do something with security, we don't break its fundamental values. That is, we make sure that the human rights are protected, but we also make sure that the fundamental properties of the internet, like end-to-end, like permissionless innovations, like the ability to connect to it, the ability to extend it, the ability of collaboration is not negatively influenced. So it's a combination of thinking about different layers, which hopefully makes it a little bit easier to not boil the ocean of trust, and an approach, a mindset around how you deal with trust and security issues in the internet way. With this, I hope I gave you a few handles. This might be a baseline for your discussion. And actually, I'm interested in some of your examples around collaborative security. And when we think about collaborative security, it's not enough that people collaborate. What is important with collaborative security is that they take into account the wider ecosystem, that they don't only protect their assets, but while they protect their assets, they're also protecting the bigger internet. A virus scanner is a good example of that. You, as an end user, make an investment that not only protects your computer, but also prevents your computer to be to become a bot in a botnet attack against the rest of the internet. So that's just an example. I would like to invite you to come up with a few more examples, and I hope that we hear back from you during our global session. Thank you very much.